allowed the governor and the legislature to skim money off of the ERS retirement fund. So what happened? We were in a recession. He was looking for money. He accuses me of not being able to make hard decisions. I tell him, well, I think rail's a pretty hard decision. Half of you guys, maybe more than half, are against it here. Easy decision for me would be to run from rail. But I don't, because I believe it's something that we need to do, and I want to work with you to help you understand that. But what did he do? So making the hard decision of balancing the budget and finding the money somewhere else, he raided the retirement system. It's kind of like us, we're ready to retire, we need the money for something. Instead of saving and cutting back on our expenses, we go raid our IRA. So he took almost $400 million with the cooperation of the legislature, but he took it. He could have vetoed the bill. He could have said, I don't want the money. $400 million. So in 2011, the chief executive officer of the retirement system of the ERS testified that if this money would have been left in, if it would have been left in there, the fund would have been fully funded today, even with the crash in 2008. That means when it's fully funded, by the way, none of us have to pay any more money into it. It's self-sustaining. This is what Ben did. It's really bad. We're paying the price for it. 93,000 pensioners in our state. That was their money, their retirement. And he took it. And you know who's making up the difference every year? We are, every year. Very unfortunate. I'm against it. I didn't support it when I was in the House. I put in a bill that became law. It's not very much money, but what I did is a bill that of irrevocable trust. You know what an irrevocable trust is, right? For those who you have trust, you have non-irrevocable, irrevocable. Most people make a regular trust so they can take the money out, give it to someone else. It becomes irrevocable. Whatever goes in there can never come out again. That's what I want the ERS fund to be, irrevocable. We fund it, never can be borrowed or taken away. Because I know one thing, politicians, when times are bad, they don't want to raise your taxes. When times are bad, they don't want to cut your programs. So what do? They take the money. I think we can't do that. So we set discipline by making an irrevocable trust, and then we manage it better. That's what I would do.
The next question, there's two more questions left. This is regarding rail. Are you receiving campaign contributions from pro or anti-rail related groups? If so, how much?
Well, I think I'm probably receiving contributions from pro-rail people. There are a whole bunch of people out there that do want the system built, and they're supporting me, they're voting for me, and they're contributing to my campaign. But I also know this, I'm receiving contributions from those who are not pro-rail, but seeing me a candidate that's running for all the other issues. From day one, when I launched this campaign, I put on my website my roadmap or vision for the future. It's about 20 pages long, and there's about 3/4 of a page on rail, and everything else is on everything else. Road, sewer, alternative energy, photovoltaics, wind, public safety, crosswalk issues, cleaning up the parks, homeless, dealing with our hidden treasures like our parks and beaches, all these other things that I talked about. This is what I love. I didn't wake up one day saying, I'm going to run for mayor because I want to build rail. I didn't wake up one day and say, I want to run for mayor because I want to kill rail. I said, I want to run for mayor to make a difference in each of your lives in the ways I just described. And yes, I want to set an infrastructure system in place so we don't just keep growing uncontrollably into our ag and open lands. And so there are people who are supporting me for that reason. So I'd say, yes, I'm getting pro-rail support and contributions. And I'm getting some anti-rail support and contributions because they know, even though we disagree on this issue, we still like you for everything else. That's the kind of look at a relationship, right? For us who are in loving relationships, do we agree 100%? Raise your hand if your significant other agrees with you on every single issue. Wow! Reporter. But no, do you get a divorce when you disagree? No. God, if you agree 50, 60% of the time, you're doing pretty good. So anyway, that's my point. And I think that's the best answer I can give.
So no dollar amount? No dollar amount?
No, I don't know. I don't know if you can break it down. I mean, you know, there could be guys in this room that give me money. They give me money because they like my position on a certain issue and they like rail. How do I know what it is? I don't know. But I do know there's guys get me because they support rail and I support rail.
Thank you very much. Last question is, what is your position on Bill 5 and 11 that we've seen a lot in the news, banning commercial activity at Kailua Beach Park, and now we've seen recent reports that it will have widespread effects on the rest of the island and all beach parks?
I don't like the bill, and I'm very troubled by it. And there's a couple reasons why. And for you in Waikiki, you can understand. There's this backlash against tourism here. It's locals versus tourists. I hear it when Ben talks about it. He's for the total ban. He says our beaches are infested with tourists and Waikiki is infested with tourists. He doesn't come here. He doesn't go to the beach here in 40 years, he says. He comes here for other things. And I think of tourism as, and it's factual, the #1 growth industry in our state. Without it, we're all in trouble. I practice banking and finance law. I'd be in trouble without tourism. No doubt about it, we'd all be in trouble. They come here for our natural beauty and our diversity and our population, and they want to go to the beaches. And if we say you can't, we're creating a problem. Now, there is an unbalance in certain places. Lanikai and Kailua are crazy because I think it's just going to go in so many brochures and it's hard to get there on the weekends. It's hard. I love to go to Lanikai. And I've even rented kayaks to go paddle out with our daughter when she was small because it's safer to take her in a kayak than my surfboard. So I've been a beneficiary of commercial activity. But here's the point. An outright ban is like a sledgehammer on a problem that I think can be solved again by better regulation. I'm not at the beach. Are you guys at the beach in Kailua at 10 in the morning on a Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday? Probably not. Tourists are, because they're on vacation. So why couldn't we allow commercial activity during certain times of the day, not on weekends, those kinds of things? So an outright ban is what we have today. Think about this. Someone could file a lawsuit right now. We're coming into the winter season. They surf the Triple Crown. They could say you cannot use Sunset, you cannot use Haleiwa Lee Beach Park, you cannot use Pipeline for your surfing. It's commercial activity. Huge amount of money being made, selling your rights for TV, selling your products. No more. Out of our beaches. We don't want you tourist surfer guys. How would the North Shore feel about that? Where do they make their money for the entire year? In those 3 months during the high surf season. Everyone makes money. I'm taking it to the extreme because really the bill says you can't do that either. Crazy what we've done. If I have the honor of getting elected your next mayor, I'm going to put in legislation that is an alternative to what they've set up, that allows for better regulation. And by the way, what's happening in North Shore with those is actually good. You get a permit from the city and county, you decide what weeks, what times, and they regulate. That's what we need to do here. Outright ban is not the way to go. It sends the wrong message, and it pits one group against another. We cannot become that way if we're going to remain a great place to live and truly call ourselves a state that has a law.
Thank you very much. We have a couple more minutes with you, so if it's okay, I'm going to take the liberty to go off a little bit off the program and just ask the million-dollar question as part of your closing remarks. If in the next 2 minutes you can just wrap up and give us your closing remarks of why you believe we should vote for you. And second, because a lot of the questions that we asked were projects that you intended to do, like build a pedestrian overpass, fix the sidewalks, and of course the rail. So how do you intend to pay for these and balance the city's budget?
You want me to do this all in 2 minutes?
If possible. If possible.
I'm going to try to answer the first part as to why I'm running. And or the theme of how I see this race playing out. Now, every politician will tell you this is the most important race in the history of America, right? You hear that, presidents, governors, they'll say it. I'm not going to tell you that. But I do believe this race for mayor is a demarcation between someone like me who's looking to the future, who believes we can dream big and attain those dreams. Yeah, and I'm more about the yes. Let's find the common ground, and then let's work hard to that common solution. The other gentleman is more about looking backwards to a past time. And he's more about the no, he's more about the fight, and he's more about, if I don't like you, I'm going to sue you. He's filed tons of lawsuits. If I don't like you, I'm going to say no to you. I need to be right all the time. You think about Washington today. We have two parties. Yes, I'm a member of the Democratic Party. But I get frustrated when I see both parties wanting to be right. So badly wanting to be right that nothing gets done because right is more important than solving the problem. With Ben, I think it's a lot about being right. And for me, it's about how do we resolve our problems. Again, another example with your significant other. I know it's much better to not always be right for the sake of our relationship. You agree to disagree, and you say, how are we going to move forward? That's how I look at the relationship that I have with all of you. That's how I look at the relationship I have with the city council, should I be elected mayor. And my job is to dream with you, and then work hard to attain those dreams. And I kind of expounded a little bit on what my dream is for a better urban core and preserving outside lands. And we can afford to do all of this, by the way. I'm not dreaming an unrealistic dream. To get to your money question. I mean, rail is being paid for 1/3 by the federal government, 2/3 through the excise tax of 0.5%. And one thing you guys should know here in Waikiki, the 2/3 that being paid by the excise tax, 1/3 of that is being paid by the tourists pretty much here in Waikiki, because they spend a lot of money. So our share for the entire system, $5.16 billion, is 48%. That's a pretty good deal. If someone came up and said, you could have that house, you only have to pay half price for it, I said, that's a pretty good deal. Someone else is going to pay for the rest. On the sewage system upgrades, we are paying since 2005 a 3.5 increase in our sewage fees. He said, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's not do that. We won't fix our sewer system. But don't complain when sewage starts coming into the LOI Canal. It's a needed expense because no mayor addressed it for a long time. And our sewer systems are 50 years old. Our water system, we've refinanced $200 million worth of bonds. Remember I talked about interest rate being lower? With that money, we're just going to rebuild our water system. So I'm talking about things that can be done. These are not pie in the sky kind of things that have never happened. I turned 60 on September 4th. And I'm running not because I'm looking to increase my name ID so I can run for something else. I'm running because I want to leave a legacy. And everything I talked about are possible. But I can't do it without you guys. Can't. I can't do it unless you vote for me and get me elected. And this is the other truth. I can't do it unless you support me as mayor in doing it. Because you as citizens of this city can run to the city council, tell them to stop what Kirk is trying to do. So we need to be together and work hard to continue to do that. So I want to thank all of you for staying so late till 9, hearing a politician talk, but I really liked it. I'm glad he came. It's great to see you. Some I know of you very well, others not as much, but I hope in the coming month and a half and beyond that, I get to know you better. So you live in a great place, Waikiki, a wonderful home, in a place that I love too. Thank you. Mahalo.
Thank you, and on behalf of the audience, we really thank your time, and it was a pleasure to get to know you more. Thank you everyone for coming tonight. I hope you learned as much as I did about our candidates. And yeah, thank you again for the Waikiki Neighborhood Board and the Sheraton Hawaiian too for hosting us tonight.